My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we're doing the ultimate hitch shootout. Today's video will be a comparison video between these hitches. We're not really going to be doing a deep in-depth dive review on each individual hitch. I have separate videos on that if you're interested. But today's video will be more of a comparison, so we can compare each of the different types, find the pros and cons of each different type, and help you decide what type of hitch you need and what will best serve your purposes. So without further ado, let's get started. Bang, 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 bang. Well, we obviously know which hitch is bulletproof. All jokes aside, this is a bulletproof hitch. And like the name states, it's pretty beefy, pretty bulletproof. This is their step-up version, so it's very heavy duty. Probably the lightest hitch of the bunch is the Weigh Safe, and I would say the biggest thing it has going for it is the fact that it shows you your ton weight. Next up, we got the B&W. Probably the biggest thing it's got going for it is the fact that we can turn over this ball underneath. And just like that, we've got a turnover ball. Keep your shins safe. These three on the bottom are your standard fixed drop height tow hitches. Next, let's take a look at the weights each of these hitches came in at. Heaviest was this bulletproof hitch at 38 pounds. Next heaviest was this B&W hitch, and due to my precise measuring techniques, we came in at about 28 pounds. I got a reading of 28.1 and 28.7. Next up, we got this Kurt, came in at 16 pounds. The Weigh Safe hitch came in at about 14.5 pounds, 14.5, 14.6. The next lightest was this Towing Products at 11 pounds. And the lightest we had here was this Draw Tight at 9.5 pounds, 9.4, 9.5 pounds. So quite a difference in weights between across the board. The lightest we got about 10 pounds and heaviest we've got about 40 pounds. So 30-pound difference. Let's talk about the different materials we've got here. We've got powder coat, we've got paint, we've got chrome plating, we've got stainless steel. Lots of different options here, and let's talk briefly about my experience. Obviously, I've had the most experience with these cheaper drop hitches, and using these, I actually ran this ball without grease for several months with my landscape business, and you can see how much of this coating has rubbed off. It's got pitting on the top, lots of problems have occurred, but it's still in relatively good condition. It's a painted hitch, and you can see rust, paint's flaked off, so paint doesn't always hold up the best. Here is this heavy-duty Kurt hitch, which is a really nice hitch. Again, it looks like a painted coating or maybe a cheap powder coating, and all of that has chipped off under pretty light use under not a very long period of time. This ball is held up better. It has been greased, it has been taken care of, but just that coating over time is going to wear off, and these balls are going to be kind of disposable and need to be replaced. With this Weigh Safe here, we do have a stainless steel ball, really nice. I have not been able to use this very much. I got this in the fall when things were kind of on a downturn with the business, so haven't towed as many trailers with this Weigh Safe, but the towing I have done with it, you can hardly even tell. I don't even think you could really see any pitting at all, so that one's held up really well so far. B&W, unfortunately, I have not had a chance to tow with. We'll put that to the test and see how well it holds up. But looking at these other plated type balls, the plating does seem to stand up the best. Unfortunately, this bulletproof hitches, in the minimal time that I have spent towing with it, I have seen the ball chipping off powder coat. Powder coating is just in this quick time is chipping off, and it's proving to be not as good as those other options. Because we've got steel underneath here that quickly rusts. I live in the Midwest, so moisture is an issue here, and rust is very apparent very quickly. I will say that I ran this larger ball with grease, and there's less chipping and pulling off. I ran the 2-inch ball without grease, and it very quickly tore off the powder coat. So I should have put some grease on there, preventative measures, but I don't usually tow with a 2-inch, and needed it for a certain circumstance, and I didn't have grease at the time for that. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. So as far as the finish goes on all of these, the bulletproof and B&W are both powder coated. This Kurt one painted aluminum, holds up really well. Again, paint here not holding up very well. This ball has been sitting for a long time. Both the hitch and the ball are, just seen better days. These cheaper ones end up being disposable. You end up throwing this away and buy a new one by now. Probably a good idea. Next, let's talk about ease of changing on a ball. With several of these, we can change the ball size from 2 5/16 to 2 inch, and most of these manufacturers also offer options for 1 7/8 inch. Easy winner here is the B&W hitch. Simply pull the pin, flip it over, put the pin back in, you're good to go. Really easy. And then the next two, it's gonna be a toss-up between the Weigh Safe and the bulletproof hitch. The bulletproof hitch is pretty heavy, so it is a little bit harder to pull the 2 pins, but you pull 2 pins, flip it over, and then you're good to go. The Weigh Safe is a little bit more involved in the sense that you have to pull your key out, unlock the lock on the side here, drop it from the hitch, pull the pin out, drop the new ball in, and then put it all back together. But because it's aluminum, it's lightweight, and so in that regard, it is a little bit easier. And if you have a hard time with the extra weight of the bulletproof, Weigh Safe might be a good option there. This Curt hitch does have a large nut that can be removed, and it does have slots on the side here that would allow you to get a wrench on here, and remove this and replace the ball. But a lot more work, got to get a tool out. If you're going for a budget option, these towing products are probably a good way to go. It's got little slots in here that help hold the top ball in place, and then you can get one of these wrenches, put a wrench on it, and turn it off. Obviously, you can see here, this has seen better days. In order for these to work well, you need to keep up on the maintenance, keep them lubricated. This one came with this ball, as well as this ball I've got over here I installed on this unit. Again, adjustability on this draw tight version. You got to get 2 wrenches on here in order to remove that. So anytime you're going to have to pull a wrench out and remove these balls, a lot more work, a lot more difficult, and it's just not as convenient. Let's talk about adjustability. These hitches on the end do give you options. They are a drop hitch or a rise hitch. Right here we've got a 2 inch drop, and your drop height is measured from the top here to this base plate. So that's a 2 inch drop. This one I believe is a 4 inch drop, and these can be used in a drop or a rise position. So this one can be used for a 2 inch drop, or I believe that computes to a 1 inch rise, would be the thickness here. And then this one here would compute to probably a 4 inch drop or a 3 inch rise. So you do have options. Most people don't use these for an adjustable hitch. Same with this Curt hitch. Picked up this Curt hitch for a 2 inch drop, and it worked well until I put a new hitch on the vehicle, which raised the height of the hitch height, and then I did some suspension work, which raised the height of the vehicle even more, which made this hitch for me obsolete. So I picked up this brand new hitch with the higher tow rating, which we'll talk about tow rating in a minute, and after making some modifications to the vehicle, this no longer worked. It's a great hitch, heavy duty, but you lose that versatility, which is what led me into the adjustable hitch market. I've got so many different trailers I tow. I need the versatility of changing out the ball, and then I need the ability to have drop and rise heights. So the Weigh Safe has the shortest. This is a 4 inch drop. The B&W is a 7 inch drop, and I believe this bulletproof is a 6 inch drop. And we could measure those out real quick to show you. This looks to be about a 7 inch drop. Yeah, basically a 7 inch drop on that one. We've got 1.5 inch or 2 inch drop on this Curt. Keep moving down the line here. 4 inch drop here. We lost a competitor down here. Yep, 2 inch drop there. Yeah, 5 1/4. So you got your different drop heights. Now let's talk about adjustability. So obviously these ones were fixed. Can't really adjust them. This Weigh Safe hitch. This Weigh Safe hitch, we've got 1 inch increments of adjustability. So we can do a 0 drop hitch straight off there. We can drop it down to a 4 inch in 1 inch increments. We can also flip it over, and I believe this goes to a 3 inch rise, something like that. B&W over here, we've got again 1 inch increments. So 7 inch drop right now, we can go all the way up to a 0 inch drop with that one. The bulletproof here does not have as much adjustability. It is a 2 inch drop adjustment. So we go from a 1 inch drop to a 7.5 inch drop on the bulletproof. So now that we've talked about the different drop options, we got 2 inch versus 1 inch drop. Let's talk about the ease of the adjustment. So the bulletproof and B&W both have 2 pins. Remove the cotter pins, drop it down or up, whatever you need. They're about the same, again, aside from the weight. The Bulletproof does weigh a little bit more, so keep that in mind. This is their step up level in hitch, so it's a heavier duty hitch and it's got some extra beef to it because of that. So that's part of the reason this one is heavier. This Weigh Safe, I really like the fact that this locks. So this is a nice locking hitch pin system. This Weigh Safe is a double pin, but they both come out in one unit. Makes it really easy to adjust. And because the way this pin is set up, it's got a lever here that is like a door latch. When you don't need the key in order to lock it. So you just slide that in and it locks. They've got a nice little dust cover protector that comes with it. And we've got a matching key on this lock as well. So if you're concerned about security, this really is a good way to go. You can buy replacement pins for these other units and lock those. And regardless, you should always be buying a locking pin for these high dollar units. When you're paying over a couple $100s for a hitch, you don't want to lose it, you don't want it stolen, make sure you lock it. So we've got several different hitch pin types. We've got this type that has a slot in it, and you slide the cotter pin over it, or the R pin, or whatever these are called, and pretty easy pin. We've got this type of pin on this Curt. This came with the Curt. It's actually really nice. It's still new enough that it's pretty stiff. Okay, there we go. So you got a hole in the middle, the pin slides through. This does have rubber coating on the sides, which has held up pretty well so far, but I don't foresee that lasting forever. That is going to come apart. And then we also have this Weigh Safe hitch. This is the locking pin that came with it, matching keys, and it's just a normal locking style pin. You've got a little O-ring here to kind of keep dirt and crud and corrosion out of there. But different options for your pins, and obviously you've got your pins on these guys, which have, again, the R-clip and a stainless steel pin going through them. I'm not sure if this one's stainless steel or not on the Bulletproof, but I know the B&W hitch is stainless steel. Okay, next let's talk about storage. One of the big wins here on this B&W is the fact that it very easily can flip over to the back side of the ball. But this is intended to turn over. We'll show you real quick. Turn this ball over for easy storage. It's on the back side. You can leave this locked into your hitch, quickly turn this over and pull it in the back side. Easy storage. This is not a tall enough Weigh Safe drop, I don't think, to do this, but I think with some of the other variants and versions you can turn this over and put this in here. I don't know if this is advisable from Weigh Safe or not. I actually need to order a 6-inch drop. Get a little bit of wobble there. So both of these you can do reverse. The Weigh Safe probably want to have a 6-inch drop in order to do that. If you plan to leave your hitch in place at all times, you may want to consider one of these options that you can flip these over. The Bulletproof hitch, obviously you cannot do this with. The Bulletproof hitch has this gusset back behind here, and because of the channel design, there's no way to turn this over and hook this in any other way. While we're talking about that, let's talk about the distance between your ball and your hitch pin. And the reason that's important is if you got short towing wires or chains, that will be problematic in order to reach the vehicle from the trailer, as well as the more leverage you have away from the vehicle, the longer that distance is, the more leverage you're putting on your hitch on the vehicle and the frame, and there's just more strain in the entire vehicle throughout. Let's go the distance from the inner pin to the ball. So this Bulletproof hitch is about 13.5 inches. On the B&W, we've got a length of about 10.5 inches. We're 3 inches shorter here. On the Weigh Safe hitch, we're about 9.5 inches, so an inch shorter again. On these three options here, we only have one pin, and we're 8.5 inches here, so we're about 2 inches shorter than the Weigh Safe. We've got 8 inches, and then we've got 10 inches. So shortest is 8 inches, 10 kind of seems to be a middle ground, and then on the far end there, we've got about 13.5 inches. Now these higher end ones do come with 2-pin options, which is really nice to have the adjustability. Sometimes you've got a hitch that just doesn't allow you to get it into that deepest spot. You always want to go as deep as you can, if possible. But it's nice to have that adjustability. And one nice thing with these higher end units is, especially the Weigh Safe, you go on the website and you can pull up all of their engineered drawings. You can see all the dimensions from the pins to the heights to the drops and see all these distances. So if you've got a really special circumstance, you can usually go and find the dimensions on those websites and see if it's going to fit your needs if you're worried about that working out. When we're talking about specs and dimensions on these units, another thing to be cautious of or aware of is the distance you have here. A lot of people like to use rock tamers or other accessories that bolt in between. They bolt on the hitch here, between the towing hitch on the truck, on the vehicle, and the hitch itself. And so you need to have enough room for those sleeves to slide on there. For example, rock tamers, people use them to protect their boats and camper trailers. And this bulletproof hitch here is a prime example of, you've got all this shank size, but all of it's unusable because of this gusset that's right here. This gusset's to add strength and give us that higher tow capacity, but you lose a lot of ability. So if you have rock tamers, they're gonna have to sit right here. And depending on your hitch on your tow vehicle and how things are set up, that may not work for you. Let's wrap this up talking about towing ratings, and then we'll finish up by talking about price. So heaviest duty unit here is the bulletproof hitch. This is their heavy duty variant, which has a towing capacity of 22,000 pounds. Pretty substantial. They do have a medium duty version, which is rated up to 14,000 pounds, which is still pretty good. Next, let's skip the B&W and the Weigh Safe and go to this Curt. So this Curt is rated for 17,000 pounds. So all of the ratings and specs are stamped on there, as well as this actually has a 15,000 pound ball in it. So let's not say this is rated to 17, it's actually rated to 15 because the ball is limiting it. Next, we've got the B&W and the Weigh Safe. So engraved inside here, we've got a 10,000 pound trailer weighting, and that's with the larger ball size. So we go to the B&W here, and this B&W 2 5/16 ball is rated for 10,000 pounds. So we've got 22,000, 15,000, 10,000, 10,000, and then let's go to these lower end versions again. And we're mostly looking at the weight capacity on a 2 5/16 ball. Obviously you're going to lose capacity with a 2-inch ball, but most of the time a 2-inch ball is towing a smaller trailer. So this ball right here is only rated for 6,000 pounds. And unfortunately, I have seen some heavy duty trucks. In fact, I've got some pictures from a job site, Dodge 1-ton dually truck that had a 6,000 pound ball on the back of it. I mean, that kind of crap's scary. So make sure your ball is up to the challenge in order to handle what you're towing. Weight of 5,000 pounds with tongue weight of only 500 pounds. So this is really probably underrated. So 6,000 pound ball here, but the hitch is only 5,000 pound rated. Again, same thing here. This is actually a 2-inch ball rated to 6,000 pounds, but this Towing Products brand is only rated for 5,000 pounds. It's hard to read on there maybe, with a tongue weight of 500 pounds. I really want to steer people away from using these cheap versions. Unless you're towing a little tiny utility trailer, they're probably not up to the task of what you're asking it to do. So finally, let's talk about price. Let's start on the cheap end here. On these low budget options, in general, you can pick up these guys in the $20 to $50 range. Sometimes they'll come with multiple balls. You can change out. Sometimes you get them in a kit that has a wrench. Really, a good starter kit you can probably find between $20 and $50. But with that, you've got a lower towing capacity. We step it up. We're staying with a fixed hitch here, fixed drop. And this one I believe I picked up in the $40 or $50 range, but they can go as high as $70, $80. Let's look at the prices on these higher end hitches. These are all adjustable, lots of versatility, lots of different functions, and they serve different purposes. And I'm just going to go off the prices that each manufacturer has. I've picked up things cheaper on different websites. You can go eTrailer, Amazon. I mean, there's lots of different options. But just for the sake of going off the manufacturer's MSRP, this Weigh Safe comes in with a 4-inch drop at $259. In order kind of to stay in the same range of drop, for a 6-inch drop, we're $279. If we move up to the B&W, we're $271 for the 6-inch drop. It's actually a 7-inch drop on the B&W. $299 for the heavy duty and a 4-inch drop. For the 6-inch drop, like what this is set up in, which is technically a 7-inch drop, is $309. If you drop this down from the heavy duty down to their medium duty and a 6-inch drop, you're looking at $209. One thing we really haven't talked about, it's like the elephant in the room here, is this Weigh Safe hitch. If you haven't seen my video on that, check it out. A really cool product here with the ability to see your tongue weight. So when we look at all these products, which one am I going to use this year? Probably going to lean towards using this Weigh Safe one. I do need to get another extension for this. They sell them separately. I think it's 60 or 80 bucks to get a 6-inch drop. I do need a longer drop, but I do plan to pick that up. And the reason I want this is because my trailer, I use it for landscaping, for lawn care, and it's constantly seeing different things inside of it and different weights, and having the ability to quickly check my tongue weight will really be nice. Probably a close second for me would be the B&W, simply due to how easy it is to flip over and turn the ball over and all that. I really like the Bulletproof, but it is heavy, it is bulkier. If my trailer was heavier rated, if I was towing 14,000 pound, 20,000 pound trailers all day, definitely would be my top choice. But in the 10,000 and under range, I think the B&W is a good option if you don't need the scale for the weight. So kind of some differences between the hitches here. Obviously, an adjustable hitch is going to be far superior to a fixed ball here like this one. Thanks for watching this Thrifty Garage video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in other tone related videos, I do have a video comparing this amp lock and gusset lock for trailer tongue locks, and much more content on the channel, so be sure and stick around and subscribe. And thanks for watching this one. We'll see you on the next one. Let's talk about some different materials, but it really depends on your needs, what you want, blah blah blah, as well as where the hitch rattles inside the hitch. The hitch rattles inside the hitch. Yeah. Anyways.